And we are live. What's up, buddy?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. The guy here guzzling down his drink. It's Mike.
Don't
What's
ask
going
what
on,
it
bro?
is. Good,
Yes,
buddy.
sir. Yes,
Yourself?
sir. Yeah, I got mine. Tasty right there.
Ooh, that does look good. Voodoo Ranger's
American
fantastic.
Haze, Voodoo Ranger. Everybody, real quick, like, share, subscribe, follow us on our social media platforms. Let's get into this, okay? So tonight, sports talk. You know, a lot of things going on around just the sports world in general. So we're going to dive deep into the topics that we care about, and just from a fan's perspective on what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and how does this make us feel as fans. So real quick, we're gonna start off with the Denver Broncos. We're just gonna go over that real quick. Mike, you got some reports coming out of Dove Valley.
Yes, sir. So anybody that's been following knows that it's now rookie contract season since we closed out for free agency finally, as well as the extension contracts for long-term for Justin Simmons. Obviously, those didn't end up parlaying, so they had to press forward to the rookies. They've done a good job so far. They've knocked out pretty much the entire list within the last 2 days. We're just down to 3 right now that haven't signed, to my knowledge. Maybe as of it's about 10 o'clock Central on the 22nd. So I haven't seen any notifications that Judy, Hamler, or Cush have signed. But there was reports about 2 hours ago that Cushenberry, they were close to getting his deal signed as well. As for that, all the other draft picks have been signed up. What have you heard so far regarding preseason as well as the current rosters?
So I think everybody got wind of there's no preseason games, which dude, that's a huge blow, and that's a huge blow to the fans as well, because again, that's the sports that we wanted, and then sports that everybody needs. Everybody needs the sports to come back so we can get out the fuck shit, and so now no preseason. Okay, that's a blow. Also, it's a blow to the people that are fighting for roster spots. And then on top of that, before they even make it to camp, they go from 90 straight to 80 before they make it to camp. So 10 people right off the bat won't even have their NFL dreams come true, which is so devastating. I know that feeling. I know that feeling when I came up short from making it to the NFL. I know that gut-wrench feeling where shit gets real at that point where you don't even make it to fucking training camp. God damn, that sucks. Okay. So that's why, I've said this for years, having an alternative league is important in cases like this, because those 10 people that don't even make it to training camp, kick them on over to the XFL, which is such a shame that league is not around anymore, which is because of bad finances and stuff like that. And,
the whole fucking COVID thing wrecked it, bro. Because it took off the week after the Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden, after 3 weeks, they shut down the entire globe. So, I mean, it was fucked from day one,
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But hey, man, everybody who don't make it, they get cut. Hey, man, keep your head up.
Right.
At the time, football is everything, but after a while, you start to realize that you can move and transition into other stuff.
Yes, sir. Yeah, dude, that's a devastating blow, man. Like not only just dropping the preseason, but on top of that too is just those 10 shaved right off the roster in the first place. So yeah, I'm intrigued. What you got?
I was about to throw in. There's a lot of cats that I knew who made it to OTAs, rookie mini camp, and training camp. Bro, that's money. That's money. Bro, right. All-season workouts. Bro, you know how much you get paid for all-season workouts?
Each one of them's nothing. It's still like a salary, I think, or what is it? No, if you make practice squad, it's like I think it's like $150,000 for each one of those players. But if you're like preseason, they're making like a normal person's salary. I think it's like $60,000 to $70,000. So it's like at least for, I guess it'd be for basically about a month and a half. So for a 3 paychecks, they would be making enough to really
Like a lot
get
of shit
by.
got cut short. A lot of the off-season workouts and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure those guys were still getting paid, but a lot of this stuff was cut short. No, not even OTAs, not even rookie mini camp, not training camp. You got 10 that's going to get cut right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's a blow. That's a
Yes.
huge blow.
It stinks, dude. It's rough, man. Our hearts go out for all those guys who end up missing the cut just because of that. But what comes around goes around. They'll bounce back. Everything comes down to how determined you are. Either you let it defeat you, or you get stronger and you persevere and you come out on top. I mean, that's the good thing about it is we know how much like the Denver Broncos prowess is for the underdog story for once a year. So both of us agree that at least one, maybe two, we've pretty much got deadlocked for 2 undrafted free agents who are going to make in the roster or the final roster. So,
Esain Bassi and the running back, Bellamy.
Yeah, from Western Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we know Bellamy's going to make it. They gave him a lot of money. I think they already gave him like 125,000 guaranteed. So, but like you said, I think our only coin toss right now is saying Bassi, and that's all going to come down or be determined on how he plays during the preseason. But I wouldn't be shocked, dude. There were some people who were on the roster last year that I don't know how they still stayed on waivers, dude. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with him. I thought that there was a lot of overhype. Old boy that came from the Buffaloes. I forgot his name, but I didn't think that he was really anything fantastic. I'd be shocked to see Tyree Cleveland really even make the roster. I see him, obviously he's going to get a practice squad for sure, but I'm hard pressed to believe that he makes the roster. And if he does,
he's a guaranteed candidate for practice squad for sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they just paid him a lot of money. They're not going to just cut him right now. So, or at least you would assume.
Well, there were a lot of, and I mean, and this is digging deep on our depth chart. If there was a lot of receivers that I know that we've kind of been rolling over for the last couple of years now.
Yeah,
and I'm almost willing to bet that's some people that we just kick right off the bat, like McKnight, Kelvin McKnight or something like that. He's one of those people, real small school guy. Really didn't cut it. He was a practice squad player. I think he's one of those people that they can just go ahead and axe real quick, go ahead and get him out here so they can get the things rolling. Which countdown to training camp, 6 days away.
Yes.
Yes, sir. 6 days away. So we're going to have some real content coming for the Broncos.
So this is kind of premature, but at the same time, we went from having probably the most anemic wide receiver roster to all of a sudden being able to just have a spoil of riches when it comes to saying, yeah, this guy's not going to make it, that guy's not going to make it, blah, 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 blah. I agree. Yeah. So I'm looking right now, bro. I think Deontay Spencer is going to end up making the final roster. I think he was just too valuable last year in the return game. He's too dynamic, explosive. I mean, he was a Pro Bowl alternate you don't do that by accident. I think Winfrey's gone, bro. He's the one I was thinking of earlier. I just don't think that Juwan Winfrey. Yeah, he didn't do anything that stood out to me. There was nothing where it's like, oh, okay, well, I get that there's a speciality to this guy. I just never saw it. I'm taking a flyer, and I'm going to say that, Trinity Benson, he's not going to make it. And I'm going to take a flyer and say that Deshaun Hamilton gets cut.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I heard this the other night, and here's something that I want everybody to think about, okay? When you look at our wide receiver roster, and you have it up, I'm assuming, right? You have the wide receiver roster up?
Yes, sir.
Outside of Sutton, Judy, Hamler, Tim Patrick, who else do you have that's even worth mentioning?
Well, what do you think, sir? So we got
Okay, so we started Trinity Benson, Fred Brown, Cleveland, practice squad. Kendall Hinton, Manning, that was an undrafted guy out of Tarleton, Kelvin McKnight, Deontay Spencer, really can't count him. And go down somewhere. Juwan Griffin,
I'm going to say that Zamari Manning makes it for a practice squad. That was another guy they were really high on during the offseason.
Okay. So with everybody, so we've established Sutton, Judy, Handler, Tim Patrick, 4. Who's your number 5 guy? I mean, because you're going to carry at least 6 receivers, right? So who's your 5th and who's your 6th? I mean, right off the bat, I mean, your 5th has to be Hamilton. I mean, he's the 3rd most experienced guy that's on there. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean –
I think there's no way unless when these other guys beat him out, which, there's possibility.
Yeah.
Possibility. I just don't see it happening.
So –
in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unless Tyree Cleveland – see, the thing that's about Tyree Cleveland is he really is just a younger version of Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. I mean, he's a big body who is a 40-yard dasher, and he goes up and he contends for catches. He does contested catches. So they've got 3 of those guys. So obviously they've got a rotational one of those players now if they throw him on the practice squad. I will agree with you. You made a good point. I think when it comes to route running wise, Judy is a unique character. You can't recreate him. Cortland Sutton is a unique character. You can't recreate him. So obviously those 2 are a lock. KJ Hamler's a lock just because of the dynamicism that he brings with his speed. So yeah, I'm going to go with you just because of the fact that Drew Lock started establishing a little bit of chemistry with Deshaun Hamilton down the end of the season. I mean, obviously even his first couple games that he started with Drew Lock was, you could tell why Joe Flacco stopped throwing to him altogether. Granted, Flacco sucks, but you can tell why Joe Flacco just pretty much gave up on the guy at the beginning of the season because, I mean, he dropped some pretty crucial passes.
So the thing about Hamilton is I think everybody can agree, his speed is like average to below average, okay? Right. Where he wins is his route running. So if you have a quarterback that can extend the play, i.e. Drew Lock, which, Hamilton can be a 3rd, 4th option to where if everything closes down, he has to roll out the pocket. Oh, this is Deshaun Hamilton. Boom, let me bomb to him real quick. And I mean, he has some oopsies, last season with some drops. He had some oopsies. Has he recovered from that pass that he dropped in the end zone that kind of fucked with his mental state a little bit? Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, he's a viable option. Here's another thing I want to point out: Tim Patrick. Why in the fuck are we so high on that guy? I don't think it's. Let's be honest. What has he done?
Well, let's not kid ourselves, dude. Every time that we've needed a clutch play, Tim Patrick's been there and caught a pass.
Bro, I can probably count on one hand all his. Oh, that was a good catch.
Dude, I hate to break this to you. I can count on one hand how every other player that not named Cortland Sutton had a good catch last season.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But I hate to break this to you. Off that one hand, 4 out of those 5 fingers was Tim Patrick. The other one may be Deshaun Hamilton.
Oh, no, man. It's just – thank God we brought in some more wide receiver help.
Dude,
because if Tim Patrick was our, number 2, number 3, they wasn't doing their job as selecting.
We'd still sitting here scratching our faces going, this might end up being a rough season. If they hit, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jerry Jeudy's great, but the fact that I friggin' loved that they grabbed Jeudy and then Hamler. If nothing else, just to make a friggin' statement, which is we not only got good at this position, we got great at this position, and now we're going to make you guys pay. So, I mean, dude, you think about last year, we would have been sitting here looking at this roster going, God, dude, I hope that guy makes it. I hope Kelvin McKnight makes it because I don't know if these other guys are
We need help, baby. We need help.
We were horrific.
And Denver Broncos, we're good at when we lack at a position, we overdraft or we just bring in a fuck ton of people. Like a few years ago at tight end. I mean, tight end was dismal a few years ago. Now we got so many people. We're like, who's going to make the roster? You know?
But none of them are really.
You're,
yeah, but let's not kid ourselves. All the ones that we brought in were shit. It's just been the last 2 drafts that we've gotten a couple guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I really love the Albert O pick. I know that you're not a huge fan of it, but I think just because of the fact that he's already got established chemistry with Drew Lock, that is a gigantic benefactor for him. And then obviously Noah Fant. Hey, look, dude, everybody's hyping up TJ Hawkinson in this offseason. I think that's super unfair to Noah Fant because he was the best rookie receiving tight end last year, bar none. And everybody's just basically they're brushing him under the rug like he didn't do shit.
Yeah,
it's like,
and Fant's been out there grinding. He's been out there grinding like a motherfucker. I haven't seen one video of Drew Lock throwing the ball and Noah Fant wasn't out there. Right. And Mike, bro, I think we need to apologize, man. I think we need to apologize, bro.
Not happening. Don't even bother. Not doing it.
I think we need to apologize, man. The shit that I've been seeing from Jerry Jeudy is
yeah. Okay. Yeah, but
dude, the stuff we've been seeing from him is damn.
Bro, we already
reneged. We need to apologize.
We reneged on that one how many times now, though? I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
But did we renege properly, though? Did we do it properly? Because we kind of half-assed, like
we said we were wrong. I mean, what more do you want? I'm not gonna apologize. We were in the moment and we're sitting there looking at it, going, "Are we gonna get this guy?" And then now that you sit here and watch this guy, it's like, dude, I completely understand why they just gave this dude like $8 million in guaranteed money because he's done everything that he absolutely should to qualify himself for that money. And let's not kid ourselves, dude. His charisma is fantastic. His work ethic is second to none. I know that they're just goofball videos and obviously they're highlights of everything he's doing, but it's like, I mean, you look at his overall body of work and what he's still doing every day, even in the midst of all this chaos. Yeah, dude, the guy, he's just something special. So, you know, I mean, we absolutely have to eat crow on that one. There's no argument. Yeah. But, I mean, we can only go so long. Let's get on board now. Jerry Jeudy, he's a beast.
Yeah, in case y'all have not saw the video of him and Emmanuel Sanders, which, again, kudos to Emmanuel Sanders for taking that rookie.
We retweeted it, follow it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. The route running was sick.
I loved it. I love that he took number 10, too.
Yeah, that was great, too.
Yeah, so I honestly hope Emmanuel Sanders didn't leave out of Denver with a bad taste in his mouth because I don't think any one of us – I don't think any Denver Broncos fan – I haven't had any distaste for that guy. So I can understand why he was frustrated in the locker room. It happens. But, yeah, like I said –
you go from having fat-ass Big Ben to Peyton Manning to Joe Flacco.
To nobody, dude. For fucking 4 years, he was having to endure just all that ridiculousness. I mean, 2 years with Vance Joseph, a year with Kubiak, not really. I mean, he was just meh. And then you finally get something going with Vic Fangio defensively, but offensively, we were anemic last year. So, you know, I can understand the frustration, dude. As a competitor myself in everything that I do, yeah, I fully get why he was frustrated. I get why he was becoming a toxin in the locker room. So, yeah, I harbor no animosity towards him. I don't know any Broncos fans that do. So I'm glad to see he's working out with Jeudy and making Jeudy better. And, you know, obviously maybe Jeudy can make him better too. Either way, yeah, dude, it was fucking awesome watching him working out with Jerry Jeudy. So, you know, just bringing up the youngins.
Sure, for sure. But let's move on. You know, we spent a lot of time jerking the receivers, so
which we love.
What else we got, bro?
So we've gone over the rookie contracts, no preseason. I think another crucial thing we got going on right now would probably have to be UFC.
Oh, UFC Fight Night this Saturday.
That is correct, sir.
It's honestly going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a better one than the
Agreed.
last one. The last actual UFC card with Masvidal and Usman. This one to me is the last one was a fucking bore show. Even though I didn't watch it, I had live feeds on while I was at work, kind of catching the fight. And from what everybody said was it was a straight up snooze fest. This one here, I mean, there's a lot of shit on the line on these fights here.
Dude, this is basically the Warrior card, man. Like you sit there and look at these names. You got Robert Whitaker. He's been around forever. Mauricio Hua, he's coming back. I don't know how long he's been out.
Wow.
They've got Antonio Nogueira, Big Rog Nogueira. Christ, I can't even think of the last time he's been in a fight. Fabricio Verdum, Alexander Gustafsson. Yeah, dude,
did he retire? Gustafsson, he retired, then came back.
So this is UFC Fight Night 174. I'm pretty sure most of these guys were in like Fight 17 by UFC 174.
Yeah, Verdun was.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He was fucking fighting forever. Alex
For
Olivier.
sure.
Dude, Alex Olivier isn't even on the main fight card. He's been fighting fucking forever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be kind of cool. You got a light heavyweight match, a heavyweight match on a main card, and a middleweight. Both of those guys are more than capable of knockouts. Not really as much Darren Till. Robert Whitaker for sure.
Sure.
Big Nog and Hua, maybe. Hua for sure. Antonio Nogueira, no, not really. I mean, that's the old jiu-jitsu family. Verdum, Gustafsson. I mean, we've watched Gustafsson go 5 rounds with John Jones and arguably won that fight.
Twice. Well, not twice. They fought twice. First time, a lot of people was in favor of Gustafsson. Second time, I think it was clear cut. Jones whooped that ass.
Right. Yeah.
Then he kind of went on a hiatus after that, and I guess this is his welcome back.
Well, that's because he got banned for substance abuse, bro. Got caught doing boogie shoogie, bro. I mean,
had that Colombian marching powder.
So yeah, man. We'll take a look at this real quick. We'll go through and see what your thoughts are on this fight card. So we'll start at the bottom. Kazmat Kaimev. I'm not going to pretend that I know this guy. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not picking the guy with no picture. This guy's no fucking picture. You automatically lose in my book when you can't put a fucking proper headshot up there.
Well, and this guy is 7-0. I mean, he's still pretty young in MMA as for professional fighting. But that's a hell of a record, so that's a good start. I'll go with him as well. I see why he's the over. Alex Olivier, Peter Sabata. I hope Olivier wins.
Yeah, it really can go either way, but I think we're in the same boat on that one.
So I'm not going to be able to pronounce either one of these guys' names. Well, I can pronounce Paul Craig.
Paul Craig.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce the other guy's name. I should have said that.
Is he one of those? Is he one of those Dagestan kids?
Shit, I don't know. He is, probably Russian. I'm gonna guess he's Anapa, Russia. I'm sure I'm not even pronouncing that right, even though.
Yeah, he's not 100% Dagestan, but close enough. I mean, those are fucking tough as nails, bro.
Well, I mean, he's from Russia. The guy, he automatically has no soul, so he goes into that fight with no feeling, comrade.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the guy's name I can't pronounce.
I'll go against you on that one. I'll take Paul Craig.
Okay, for sure.
Just because I can't pronounce his name. Carla Esparza, Marina Rodriguez. I'm gonna go with the under on this one. I'm gonna say Marina Rodriguez. Carla Esparza. I haven't been too particularly impressed with her over the last handful of fights. I think she's on her way out of the UFC.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, I agree on that one. Verdum versus
Boom,
Gustafsson.
dude. The boys.
Mm-hmm.
The old wily
This is gonna
vets.
be. Hey man, it's gonna be a good one. I think. It's gonna be a good one. If Gustafsson can come back and fight Verdum anywhere close to where he fought John Jones, it can be a exciting fight. That's all. That's 100% depending on if he comes back and fights that way. Who
So
knows? I mean, it's been like a long layoff.
Here's the cool thing for him though, is that right there. So
Anyway,
yeah, so he's not having to sit there and cut. He's not having to cut weight. He basically is showing up to this fight. Probably, I'm going to guess about 25 to 30 pounds less than Verdum. Just because Alexander Gustafsson and Jones they're the same person, dude. They're 6'5", they're skinny ass dudes. The difference between Gustafsson is Gustafsson actually goes outside of his weight class and fights at more than one. Like when you're the largest 6'5" guy in light heavyweight, and you've already beat up on all the lesser kids, the little brothers, if you will, and you refuse to go up and fight against the big boys. That's one of the reasons I've never had any respect for John Jones. It has nothing to do with what he does outside of the ring. It's everything to do with the fact that every true title holder, in my opinion, has at least changed a weight class and gone up and fought above their weight class to try and earn that title. And John Jones, I had one guy give me the argument that he beat Daniel Cormier. It's like, well, he beat Daniel Cormier outside of Daniel Cormier's comfort zone. Daniel Cormier is a heavyweight fighter. He's a natural fat body who walks around and generally dominates in heavyweight. So why didn't John Jones go meet him at heavyweight and fight there? All he's got to do is be at 225 pounds. He should be able to do that. The guy's 6'5". I mean,
absolutely.
His brothers are huge.
Absolutely. And one thing that I didn't mention was this is at Fight Island. So all reports is the cage at Fight Island is smaller than the actual regular UFC cage in Vegas, which gives a advantage to those long length guys and the guys that can wrestle too. Gustafsson being 6'5", I mean, he throws one punch, he's at the other side of the fucking ring, so. So I gotta go Gustafsson in this fight. Chain link. Exactly. One punch, man. One Superman punch. And I mean, leg here, fist at the other end, I think.
Maybe he should just hold him up against the cage the whole time and just keep foot stomping him. That'll be an exciting match. Oh, Christ, dude. I hope to God this doesn't – there's no way, dude. These guys are all wily vets. This is going to be a good fight card.
For sure.
So you got Hua, the old light heavyweight champion, multiple times. Beat my favorite all-time fighter, Lyoto Machida. That was one of the great rivalries back in the day. Versus Ragnar. I just don't see Hua losing this fight. I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen his training camp recently. He's coming back with a vengeance, which is weird. I mean, I'm not sure why he all of a sudden just re-sparked his career, but he's going after it. So I think he'll be all right, man.
Like an old, isn't Antonio? He's an old jiu-jitsu guy, right?
Yeah, super old jiu-jitsu guy. Really, he's pretty one-dimensional with his fighting. I'm not going to lie.
And that's a problem. Jiu-jitsu is good and all, but when you're fighting, I mean, if you're fighting somebody that can stand up and bang and you can't get him down, what else you got? I mean, he's going in this fight with all hope and all purpose intended on taking them down and kind of submitting them, holding them down, tiring them out, pointing them, different things like that. Pretty sure, who is coming in, I'm going to take your fucking head off, kid. I'm not fucking around. So, I mean, he has to make a statement in this fight. So then that leaves us with the main event, Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till. Okay.
Awesome.
It's going to be an awesome fight, but for Darren Till, I think this is his, he has to win this fight. Agreed. I believe. Either that or he drops all the way back out because Till his two losses were pretty significant.
Yeah, what was it? Tyron Woodley and his other one. The Tyron Woodley. The Woodley one wasn't that bad, but the Masvidal knockout, that was pretty substantial. So, and he's been on kind of a tear since then. I mean, he's had two wins in a row, so he bounced back okay. But the fact that he's the underdog in this fight still kind of shows, especially Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker's biggest deal is he's kind of like Masvidal. He's a shorter guy than Till, but if he lands, dude, he'll put you into a coma.
Yeah, if he lands, he'll definitely put you in a coma. When I saw Till fight Kelvin, I think he learned a lot from fighting Masvidal, which I think he'll be able to take Whittaker. I'm not a huge Whittaker fan.
I'm not either.
He's okay at best. He's okay. I'm gonna go with Darren Till on this one. Till rise back from the bottom, I should say, because when Till came into the UFC, he was everything. I mean, it was Darren Till. We have this little dude. We have this funny looking dude from Liverpool,
right?
And him getting his soul snatched, and by Street Jesus, kind of hurt him a little bit. I mean, dude, Street Jesus baptized that boy. God.
Dude, that was the comeback of the century. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, Masvidal was done. His career was over. He wasn't even ranked. That was just one of those, oh, shit, well, we got to throw somebody in here. I can't remember who the initial competitor for Till was. They threw Masvidal in last minute, had like 0% chance of winning that fight, and then just fucking clobbered him. And I was like, oh, shit. Jorge's been training. Well, Georgie's been training.
He's been training. And, Whittaker, he got starched by Stylebender. And didn't he fight somebody recently after Stylebender?
I don't know. He would have had to have won, though. I'm pretty sure he won recently. Let's see here. What do we got going on for you? Yeah, Adesanya, man, that guy, he's out of this world. That guy's nuts.
For sure.
So yeah, his last loss was Adesanya, which who hasn't?
Oh, so it's been a minute. It's been a while. Oh, so it's been a while.
Yoel Romero, 2018, which he's beat him 2 times in a row. Neither one of them were exciting, apparently, but.
No.
Souza. Yeah, I don't. I'm with you, dude. I think Till's gonna end up taking this. The last couple of decent. I mean, Yoel Romero went the distance with John Jones. That was impressive in and of itself. But Yoel Romero's, his record hasn't ever really been fantastic.
He's been on the decline. That guy's.
He got knocked out by Adesanya. That's pretty brutal. In round 2, no less. So I'm going to say I'm going to go with you. I think Till takes this one. I'll take the under.
For sure. Let's go with it.
So that's that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got other good news coming from you. Or coming for you, I'm sorry. So as David and I were discussing, we are going to have another individual on to talk about the diversity that we have with this podcast. And especially when it comes to sports, in case you can't see over my right shoulder, that is my hockey helmet back there. Yes, fishbowl and all. I get it. Go ahead. Take your shots. At least, but I get to keep my teeth. So yay. But yeah, so next week, hopefully we're going to have somebody else on the podcast, and we are going to discuss the upcoming Stanley Cup playoffs for hockey, because hockey's back in full swing right now for 2 weeks. All the professional teams have been practicing for the Stanley Cup. They refuse to give up on the season, and I think it's going to be awesome just the way that they've done all the round robin and stuff. You and I briefly touched base on it. The other individual and I, we share a little bit more of a passion, so we can at least, like you said, we can elaborate on a little bit more.
Yep. Well, everybody, that's another session of the Uncommon Man podcast. Again, follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments down below, and we'll catch you on the next one.
That's it, guys. Enjoy. Later.